Yeah, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the MT25. This is a Russian Tier 6 light tank, and the map is Ruinberg, which is also known as Ruinberg. This is a replay. This was a mission LT2 Reconaissance Pro to spot 4 tanks. So I'm hurrying to the midfield. I'm going to find a bush. I'm going to spot like 7 or 8 tanks all at once. I have the coated optics and the binocs. I'm going to go to their side.
Permission to engage. That one didn't go through.
So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks lit up on their side. So I completed the mission, which was to spot 4 tanks. But this was a mission that I had already done, so I'm using the improve result option, which means that I have to survive the battle in order to complete the mission and win the game. And I didn't do that the first time, so I am going to do it on this particular battle. And now that I've spotted them, I'm going to try and hide the rest of the game, but yet still shoot at enemy tanks.
Enemy armor is damaged.
And that's a perfect case where you use auto-aim, where you can be locked on to the KV-2, shooting at him while driving in reverse.
Target unlocked.
And then I switched to the manual to see if I could get a manual shot in, but it was too late. So now at this point, I was trying to see if I could find an elevated position where I could take some shots on the enemy, but I couldn't figure out a nice way to do it. I wanted to shoot at those tanks. I wanted to be higher up. But the stuff that's near me wasn't usable to climb up, or I wasn't going to be able to get a shot in. So I did a little bit of experimenting with all this refuse, as you can see, that's around the tank. And I haven't been able to climb in safely. It's just a little too difficult. So I wasn't able to get the elevated position that I wanted. So my only choice, remember I have to survive the battle, but I still want to be useful. And from there I don't think I could get any shots in. So I think what I did was I relocated to a position that has a little bit elevated and has a lot of bushes. Now, what I'm doing here is I want to go further into the enemy territory, but I went here temporarily just to make sure it's clear, so I didn't do anything stupid. So I'm going to take a moment, I'm going to make sure it's clear in my immediate area, which means basically right in front of my tank, and then I'm going to probably advance a little bit further. But I want to make sure that that guy doesn't spot me, for example. And there's a bush in front of me, so I'm going to do my second advance. Now, if you look at the map, from here you can't get a really good view. Actually, you do get a pretty decent view. But it is better to be on the other side. In this row of bushes, you get a much better view of the road down here. And you've got a lot more cover. From those bushes, you can shoot at those tanks without being spotted. I definitely would recommend knocking these trees down to increase the amount of cover. If certain trees, when you knock them down, give you more cover and some of them don't. So from here, I don't want to get spotted, but I still want to help out the team. Got to roll forward for that guy.
Ready to fire. Enemy is hit. I don't see the target.
Now that's an example. I use the auto-aim because the gun was moving up and down a little bit. The auto-aim makes the gun steady. And I also was able to see that there was a tank to my right. And he's going to be there. I think he's going to be the last tank in the game. He's still going to be there. There's a lot of foliage in front of me, so he's probably not going to see my.
Didn't penetrate their armor.
Oh, this is where I hit an ally by mistake. What happened was I thought the Firefly was driving towards me, so I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to keep on shooting at him." Based on the shape of what was happening, I think what was really happening was the Firefly was driving away from me, and when the KV-1S came across, I thought he was behind the Firefly, and in fact he wasn't. So that was a mistake that I made. You notice it's also a very quiet game. I'm used to the games being very brutal, but you know, it's 8-4, and our team has been over most of the map.
Ready to fire. Enemy armor is hit.
Okay, now, again, I use the auto-aim, and people always say you never should use the auto-aim. That's just a bunch of nonsense. What I did was I locked on to this guy, and I zoomed out, and I started firing, but while I'm doing that, I'm looking at these other tanks. So you see that there's an AT-8, which is going to have strong armor. There's the S-51, which is going to be a weaker tank. So now that I use the auto-aim, I can fire at that tank, and I can look at the other tanks, and I get a chance to look at the map all at the same time. You can't do that if you're in the sniper mode. It's just not possible. So that's why I do it, and like I said, it's just absolute nonsense when people say to never use auto-aim. I will never listen to any of that nonsense. Let's see what happens
Enemy
next.
is hit. Enemy armor is destroyed.
Okay, those tanks are gone. Okay, now you'll see that at the fountain area, which is
Permission to engage.
right there,
Critical hit. Penetration.
that was a tank.
Target lost.
That was a tank I was telling you about, that he was going to be the last one in the game.
Penetration. Where'd they go? Ready to fire. Ready to fire. I don't see the target.
Okay, so that's the game.